What's happening, Hardscapers? This is episode 59 of the How to Hardscape podcast, where we talk to you about how you can start and grow your hardscaping business. And today I'm going to take the chance to talk about things that I've taken away from our I Am a Hardscaper series of interviews. These are the interviews that I've been doing with other hardscape business owners on this podcast, and it's been great to speak with people behind the products that we use and stand behind in our business, and new products coming onto the market that I'm interested in implementing in my business, or the business coaches that we've had on the show and we're going to continue to have on in the future. These episodes with the business owners have really been amazing to be able to sit down and dive into their businesses and to learn about how they conduct their businesses, because all of us have different aspects of our business that are going to vary, and it's great to bring these to the light and to show people and to bring this value to everyone in the industry. So that's why we are working to bring back these hardscapers that we've had already in these I Am a Hardscaper series for roundtable interviews, where we get 2 or 3 of them back at the same time on the same call to discuss business and to do an even deeper dive into topics around their business. And I'm going to take this episode to talk further about these things that I've taken away from the previous I'm a Hardscaper interviews, things that have been reaffirmed in my mind and my business, or that I've learned. And these are subjects that you can look forward to us discussing further in these series of roundtable episodes. And we are kicking off next week with our first one with Caleb Ottman of Ottman Landscape, Andy Mulder of Mulder Maintenance and Services, and Jeremy Swihart of J Squared Outdoors. So this is a great episode that's coming out next week. But for today, let's get into some topics that we've discussed in previous I'm a Hardscaper interviews that have really brought me some value, and I hope that you can take a look back at them, listen to them, and listen to these topics and share your viewpoint on them and how you feel about them in terms of your business. We'd love to hear from you. We're at How to Hardscape on Instagram, Facebook, and you can contact us, contact@howtohardscape.com if you want to open up a conversation about these topics. So without further ado, here's our episode for this week. The very first thing that's come up in some of these interviews, and especially in business in general, is deciding where your business is going to fit in the marketplace. And that comes with, doing market research and understanding what is available in the marketplace. Where is there a need in the marketplace for a business that you can then set up and get out there and do work? And a lot of us, when we think about that doesn't get thought about when we're starting a business. We have a skill set that we want to bring, and we want to find the customers that we can just do work for and make a living that way. But if you take the time to identify a certain niche or a certain area in the marketplace where your business can fill a need, that's going to bring a lot of business in, because people aren't willing to do the work, or people aren't available to do the work. And that could be something as, intricate as doing incredible designs and finding the customers for that require a beautiful design of a very intricate backyard outdoor living space, and that you can also build that as well. That's a great thing if your area is in need of somebody like that, somebody that is able to do the design and build work. That's a great niche to take on. But there's also areas that don't get talked about often, and it's how I started my business, because working for a retailer, it was evident for me with everybody coming in that there was a place in the market for somebody to do maintenance work. And that's, those lift and relays, the not so, glamorous work that's out there, but it was an obvious need that people were really willing to pay money for. So it's also work that doesn't require a lot of equipment, a lot of overhead. So I was able to start my business with minimal equipment and to get in there and to start making money right away, because I had these contractors that were willing to give me these leads, and I had the retail end of things. The people that I worked for, they were willing to also give me the leads for this type of work because they knew nobody else wanted it. So that's where I identified a place in the market where my business could start off. And just because you start there doesn't mean that you continue your work from there. You can pivot as your business matures and you're able to take on more and more clients as I have, and you're able to get into a place in the market where as your business evolves, you can evolve with it and you can pivot and go into, doing these outdoor living spaces. Is that what you want to do? Or these, driveways or whatever it might be. It's just a matter of choosing a niche, identifying a place in the market where your business can fit and going for that, because there is a lot of room in a lot of markets for these maintenance companies, for these cleaning and sealing companies. There's a lot of room in markets for this. Another thing I want to talk about is pre-qualification. We got right into pre-qualification of leads in the first interview, all the way back with Matt from Hardscape Ottawa. And it's so important to pre-qualify your leads. And especially this year, I've noticed this in my business, there's tons of tire kickers out there. And if I was to visit the site of every person with a lead coming into my business, I would waste so much time. So being able to pre-qualify those leads is incredibly important. This year, I've noticed there's tons of work out there and lots of leads coming in, but a lot of those leads, more than ever, are people just wondering how much it's going to cost them. And if I didn't have a pre-qualification system set up in my business to be able to ask them certain questions about if we're a good fit or not, then I would be wasting tons of my time going out and doing quotes, estimates, consultations, whatever it may be. So pre-qualification, get that system set up in your business. And get that set up online too. There's great methods to incorporate that with your website and to have a customer fill out a form on your website that really pre-qualifies them through that form, and then automatically sets them up with a consultation in your calendar. It's a great way to automate that without having to spend your time on it in the future. Now, it's a great idea to be able to get them on the phone as soon as they've gone through that form, to clarify some things, talk to them, to add that personal touch. But getting that on your website is a very key thing, as well as SEO. And SEO is something that if you haven't invested yet into your business and to optimize your business to be on the top of search engine results, whether that be working on your website or whether that be focusing on your Google My Business page, and getting those reviews from the customers that you want those reviews from, that is so crucial in terms of getting noticed without having to spend money, without having to spend more time on marketing. So it's a great, excellent way to set that up to automate those leads coming into your business. Another thing that has come up in interviews is having a value proposition. So we get a lot into free consultations. We're going to talk about that very soon. But being able to do a free consultation is a value proposition to your customer. As long as you spend the time to pre-qualify them to know that it's not a waste of your time, being able to offer a free consultation where you come out there and you talk to them and you give them ideas is a value proposition to your customer to think, that customer wants to go to the next stage with you, which is that consultation, that you can then meet them and show them your personality, show them your knowledge, show them your insight into this industry, to have them go to that next stage with you, which is getting to the signing of a contract or whatever it may be. That value proposition is key. And we've had hardscapers come on that has talked about, their first year in business, they did free designs, which isn't a thing that it gets talked about too much, but if that is your if that is your value proposition to get your foot into the industry, to get these customers coming to you, it's not a bad idea. It's just as long as you pre-qualify beforehand. And maybe the free design is a very simple design, and if it's a very intricate one, then you put a price tag on it, but at least it's a good way in your first year of business. And that's very crucial, your first year of business, to get your foot into the industry, to get these designs into customers' hands and to add to your portfolio that way. So having a good value proposition, whatever that might be, starting out, and then as your business evolves, to have that value proposition that you can have to get customers going for your business is very key. Now, talking about consultations, this is a question that I ask every hardscaper that comes on the show. What do you do with consultations? Do you charge or is it free? And we've had a lot of people come on that have said it's completely free, and we've had a few people come on that charge, and then we've had everybody in between who have systems set up where it's free for referrals. So if that customer was referred, it's free for them, then they charge for people that haven't been referred, or it's free for people in their immediate area, people that they want to work for because it's less drive time, whatever it may be, and then they charge for those outside of that area. The crucial part of this is, we talked about this already, is pre-qualification. To know that you're not wasting your time is extremely crucial if you are not charging for these consultations. And I myself do not charge for consultations in my business because I pre-qualify and I make sure that person is a good lead and is worth my time going out to meet with them. Now, if you are charging, that in itself is a pre-qualification measure. If they're willing to pay to have you come out, it's likely that that's a pretty good lead. If they're not willing to pay, then maybe they are not a good lead, but maybe you're missing out on something there as well. So that's just a way to open up this conversation of consultations, free or not, in your business. I'd love to know what your thought is about this topic. When it comes to meeting with a customer, using the right language is crucial, and knowing what to say to that customer is crucial. That's why I'm trying to get as many sales coaches, salespeople onto this podcast to talk about this and to talk about sales and talking with clients, because language is incredibly crucial. We're not going to go in there talking with a customer that knows nothing about this industry and talking to them about, certain specs and things that we're doing. We want to make it simple for them and simplify it for them to make it as clear as possible for them, and not to overwhelm them with things, and to tell them what they need to look out for and whatnot. So language is something that's so crucial and has come up time and time again in these interviews with different hardscapers about everything from design to product to installation, talking about language within that. And then when it comes to organization and following up with certain leads, this came up actually in one interview, which was really interesting. This was with Garrett DeCastro of Premier Landscape, and he has a board in his office which organizes where his leads are coming from, what step in the sales process they are at, whether he's met with them, whether he's submitted a quote, a design, whatnot, and whether or not he's followed up with them. I don't know the full extent of his board and how many steps are in that process, but having an organization of knowing where you are with leads coming in, consultations, quotes going out, and being able to follow up with those is crucial to your business. When it comes to, and this is something that I've learned this year in my business, being able to organize your schedule in terms of not giving a set date to a customer as to when you will be there by, but by telling them you are this number in our lineup, and maybe giving them a proposed time as to when you'll be there. But there's so many factors that go into our schedule, and rain days, whatever it may be, something that happens on the job site that extends our time, or maybe we finish up a job beforehand. But not giving that specific date to your customers so that they're not sitting there twiddling their thumbs, waiting for you, contacting you every day. When are you going to be here? When are you going to be here? But just letting them know, hey, this is how we do things. You're this number in our schedule. This means that you might be around this time that we're going to start, but there's lots of factors that may affect that. Just being really open and honest and communicating with your customer about that is important as well. And contracts with your customer, learning taking notes about everything that happens with a customer and how you can manage your contracts and to put certain things into your contracts. Talk with people online about their contracts. Talk with people in your area about their contracts. Just being able to adapt your contract year in and year out, and even bringing it to a lawyer would be valuable to your business moving forward. Contracts are crucial, and I think I've said that word a lot in this episode so far, but contracts are important to your business. In being able to lay out everything to your customer and to let them know things that might happen, things that you need to look out for, whatever it may be, anything that's come up in the past with your contracts. It's something that we're going to be diving deeper into this podcast with at some point, but this is extremely crucial. And that brings us to change orders. Have a written form with change orders. It doesn't matter how small, how big, doesn't matter where you are in your business. This is going to end up biting you at some point, and it is important that you have a written form for change orders. Something that happens, customer wants changed, and you want to be able to charge them out for that. You should have a written document for change orders to be able to document that, because we ask a question on the podcast with each of these interviews, and that is, what is a horror story that has happened to you in your business? And time again, we get talked to about, I should have had a change order for that, because that came back to bite us. So change orders are something that are crucial in your business. In coming to installing on a job site, certain tools have come up time and time again. But one tool that comes up more often than not is something called the zip level. It's an altimeter, it's an advanced water level, whatever you might call it. But it is an amazing tool and something that we use in our business. We love it. It's awesome on the job site. You need to look into this. I'm not going to go too much in depth into the tool itself. You can find out more about it on our website, howtohardscape.com, or you can just Google Zip Level. It's an awesome tool. Something that you need to look forward to in your business. Something that you need to research more about and see if it's the right fit for your business. But it is definitely the thing that has come up more often than not on our podcast. And then coming to employees. Now, I'm not the person to come to talk about employees. And that's why I get hardscapers to come on the show to talk about employees and talk about hiring and whatnot. And it's something that I want to dive further into with these roundtable discussions about hiring, onboarding, investing in your employees, whatever it may be. It's something that I want to get deeper into for everyone in this industry. And employees is so crucial. But one thing that's come up is not just investing in your employees, but also setting up your crews with the right tools and equipment to be able to take the pressure off of them and to not have to hire as many people as you might have needed to in the past. So being able to set up your crews with the right equipment, the right tools to make sure to set them up for success, to make sure that they're not going home exhausted at the end of the day, because this is going to help you with employee retention. This is going to help you with bringing employees into your business, because these employees are not going to want to leave your business to another business that don't have these tools and pieces of equipment set up in their business, because they're going to want to stick with the business that's going to make their life as easy as possible on that job site. We also talked with the onboarding process of employees into the business with Jordan and Kyle of Evolve Design Build, and they had a great onboarding process where they actually purchased Caleb Amon and Brittany Amon's Amon Landscape how to install pavers, how to install retaining walls videos, and they actually have their new hires sit down for 8 hours, watch those videos, and take notes and bring those notes the next day. That shows them that they're willing to invest into those new hires, and they're willing to teach them about this industry before they get on that job site, to set them up for success so that they can tell them, hey, we need this tool from the trailer. Can you go get it? And they already have that in their mind from these videos. And they already have the install process in their mind from these videos. They're not going to know it off the bat right away, but at least they have some knowledge going into their first day on a job site, that they're not going to be there and thinking that they look stupid around people, with the people around them, but that they actually have something that they're going off of. And this comes down to being able to invest in your team. And we talked about investing in tools and equipment for your team, but also investing in the education for your team. If they want to get out there and get certain certifications, that you are willing to invest into them shows them so much more about your business, about yourself, about working for you. And finally, I want to talk about your numbers. And this was the year that I myself, with How to Hardscape, really wanted to focus on. And we've done episodes about this in the past, and we've done a lot of posts on our website and articles on our website about this. And we also have a couple tools to help you on our website with this. And this is knowing your numbers. This is something that we wanted to focus on here to make sure that you know your numbers and you're able to grow a profitable business for yourself. Because a lot of us come to this and we are great craftsmen. We know what we're doing on a job site, but with a business, that brings so much more to it and so many more aspects to it that you need to know and you need to learn and you need to educate yourself around to be able to grow a profitable business, that you're going to be in business much longer. Because I don't know the certain percentage of businesses that fail after 1 year, after 3 years, after 5 years. It's crazy how many businesses fail. And I saw this working at a retailer. That's why I wanted to start How to Hardscape in the first place, I had something that I could bring to the table to help contractors out there. This was it. So this is what was the number one thing that I wanted to bring to the table. And this is knowing your numbers so that you're able to grow smart, so that you're able to be profitable. Because it doesn't matter at the end of the day what your revenue was, what that sale in the job was, 100,000, 50,000, whatever it might be. That's not what you should be bragging about. You should be bragging about the ultimate profit on that job. Because you could have sold a $100,000 job and made zero money on it. That's just the bottom line. So this is why we created the budget and estimate spreadsheet, to help you be able to budget your season, to be able to incorporate all of those expenses that your business incurs, and that you're able to include those in every estimate, every quote that goes out the door, so that you're not losing money, so that you know that regardless of anything that you are charging your customer for rent on your shop, that's getting included in the time that you are out there on the job, because that should be included. Maintenance on your equipment should not be coming out of your pocket, but it should be incorporated into every single job, every single project, and all these things, every expense that you incur, and hidden expenses with labor, whatever they may be, lost time on a job, inefficiencies, all of these need to be factored into your projects so they're not coming out of your pocket at the end of the day. All of them need to. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to grow a profitable business at the end of the day. That's why we created the spreadsheet, to help you. And job costing is important. So after that job's done, being able to compare the actual numbers at the end of that job to the quoted numbers, to the estimated numbers that you sent out, is crucial in being able to tweak certain things in your business, to be able to identify things that are going wrong in your business that you need to improve. Job costing is something that is so important to every single business out there. That's why this is included in the budget and estimate spreadsheet. And that's why we've worked on creating a bookkeeping spreadsheet. So these are both spreadsheets that I myself have developed and used in my business over the years. And I've just taken the time to make it as user-friendly as possible, because if I released the ones that I had in my business, nobody would understand them. So I'm just trying to make them as user-friendly as possible. And we've got videos behind them about how to use them. But the bookkeeping spreadsheet is what's coming out next. It should be out in a week or so. But it's going to help you take care of certain bookkeeping and to be able to run a profit and loss statement, to understand where's the money going in your business, where can you cut down, where can you cut back, where can you increase, and to be able to know that, you are profitable with your expenses and with the revenue coming into your business. Now, these aren't for everybody. These are for, the company that maybe doesn't want to be spending a monthly amount on things like LMN software or on things like QuickBooks. If you're not willing in your business to spend those monthly amounts, and they can add up to a lot. They can be expensive, and I completely understand. That's why I opted to, in my business, not to go with them, to go with these spreadsheets, because I can handle the rest after that. And my business is small enough that I can handle the rest after that. But I also want in my business to be able to own these systems, because that goes into the value of my business, that I'm not, tying expenses into my business, but these are spreadsheets that once they're in my business, they are mine, they belong to my business, they are there to stay, and they are a system within my business that adds value to my business, as opposed to sending money out the door every month for a system. You can find out more about them on our website, howtohardscape.com. You can see them there under products and see the videos to see if they work for you in your business. And whether they do or not, there is a free How to Price Landscaping Jobs course at the top there as well. It's completely free to go through, to talk about these different expenses that you need to be incorporating, to talk about job costing, to talk about labor, the hidden costs of labor, and everything that you need to incorporate into every estimate and quote that's going out the door. This is something that I know that I can help with. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out at How to Hardscape, Instagram, Facebook, contact at howtohardscape.com, send us an email, whatever it may be. We're here to help with this, so let us know, and let us know if there's any other things that you want to hear about in future episodes. Like I said, be tuned for next week with our roundtable discussion in the I Am a Hardscaper series. I've learned a lot so far from these. I've retained a lot. I've implemented a lot in my business. And these roundtables are just going to dive deeper into these businesses with incredible and accomplished landscapers. So I'm incredibly excited to be able to bring these to you. And thank you for listening to the podcast week in and week out. And thank you for sharing it however you might, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, in your network group, whatever it may be, wherever it might be, and however you might be supporting us. I thank you, because it really helps me push along with these interviews, to get these interviews out there for you, to get this value out there for you, and to get this information out there for you. So really, I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's it. Thanks for listening to today's podcast episode. Visit us at howtohardscape.com for more information on these subjects that we talked about today. I'd love feedback on this episode. I'd love to know what you thought about it. I'd love to know about different aspects if you have opinions on them. Everybody's business is going to differ, so that's why I'm bringing these up to open up this conversation. And we'd love it if you subscribe to our podcast, left us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts. This really helps us get traction with this podcast out there into more people's ears, and to get more great guests on the show, delivering you more value. We look forward to meeting with you next week on the How to Hardscape podcast.